There you are, and here I am. I'm John Zidar, and this is Thursday, December 2nd, and you're watching On Top and Hot. Psst, yeah, baby. All right, folks, you know these are brought to you by Pennybois, right? PB Alerts. They have these great alerts. Everybody loves them. Everybody talks about them. But I want to start hearing you talk about PBU. I want to hear you tell me about how that education changed your life. So what I do here on Top and Hot is I look at OTC and penny stocks that are going to move, that have potential, that have caught people's attention. And today I've got a few things lined up. We'll see how it goes. We'll play it out, but I'm sure we'll find some goodies. So come along with me and let's explore. Now, I virtually always start my due diligence on the OTCmarkets.com site because it's the only site where FINRA and the SEC put the financials, the filings, the stock information. That stuff I'm going to want to know on every single stock, regardless if it's a short play or a long hold. I want to know that. So why go Googling every single stock and getting information that might be outdated? It's right here, kept up to date as best as it can be, right? So the first stock we are looking at is called SWRM. SWRM's ticker is SWRM, appropriate, Swarm. They finished the day just under a penny, a real beautiful buy-in price, under a penny. When it hits 2 cents, you're going to be over 200%. You could take out your investment immediately, have all your money back, and leave more than 100% in there to just continue growing and see where it goes. An idea. They are pink current, verified profile, have a transfer agent. They're in great shape. So what does this company do? Well, they pretty much say it right there. Application developer who creates, tests, and programs application software for computers and almost every type of device from desktop to handheld devices. They have partnered up with all sorts of people to help them resolve situations. They have apps out there. I know that they just did a deal with TGHI, which is a company in the metaverse, and bought the Red Bull Air Race. And they got with them for something. So I know they're out there doing a lot of things. So what was the relative volume today? 3 times as much. Normally 14,000, did about 50,000 today. So there was some activity around them. And what is their share count? We got 500 million shares. Not a great share count. Nothing to get excited about. Their financials are curious. I know they're doing a lot, but I see they went from 196,000 to 25,000 to 1,000. Something's not right. And I haven't dived into the financials, so I don't know. But the company's in good shape. I don't know where all the money is. Let's see what their disclosures look like. They have one, all the way back in October, and that's it. So we've got nothing here. So all we've got is the news. So in our news, you can see here through, the last couple of months, they've been getting into crypto mining rigs, the metaverse, NFTs. They have been expanding businesses with other companies. Like I said, that's what they do. I don't know where all the money is. They're doing a lot. And this is only going back until October. I know it goes further. Yeah, see? And this is one of the things Tulsa Labs announces agreement to develop next generation urban transportation technologies. The Air Race wants to create, I'm talking about TGHI, but this company is helping them create some sort of aerial transportation, like a little hovercraft that you can go down the sidewalk. Nothing real high, something you just get around the city with, but have no need for wheels or skis, or you just never touch the ground. Anyways, I digress. They had news come out today. SWRM to launch NFT marketplace to support growing metaverse. You're going to see a trend here, folks. Metaverse is hot. It is the buzz. Everybody is talking about how it's going to be $1 trillion market in no time at all. This tells us that SWRM announced it will be launching their NFT products and services to support the growing metaverse marketplace. They are going to be working with NFTs. NFTs are like Bitcoin and Ethereum, except those guys, every single coin is exactly alike. where NFTs get a unique number and there's not another one like it. You have the only one if you own one. It could be a piece of artwork, a video. We don't know yet. It could be anything, but it's only one. And these aren't bought and sold, but at a buy now price normally, they're auctioned off. What else they got? Virtual real estate. Same thing. You know, it's not real estate, but it is in their world, and people are spending hundreds of thousands of dollars for parcels, including huge companies where they're putting their own advertising. That's right, we're going to have advertising in these worlds. Event ticketing and access. That's pretty interesting. NFT marketplace. This will be a place that will allow users to create, buy, and sell their own NFT projects, and metaverse services. So there is your catalyst right there. They are on top of the metaverse. They have got some new marketplace opening up, which is just, that's big right now, and they're popping with it. So let's go take a look at that chart and see how big the pop went and how much more it might pop. This is SWRM, SWRM, 6-month, 4-hour chart. You're looking at it on Thinkorswim, also known as TOS. You get it off of TD Ameritrade. You got to sign up with them. Get yourself an account. You don't have to deposit anything. You don't even have to trade with them. Just keep your account open, and you can use Thinkorswim just like I do. So this 6-month, 4-hour chart doesn't look great. It has been falling heavily all through here. It's been rolling, doing it. Had a huge jump here, but look, as fast as it went up, it came down. That was a 400% jump up and virtually 380% down. It crossed that 200, and you had your poke there, came right back down across the 200, jabbed up over it. Has hung down here for months. Now, you have two pokes here. I'm sure these affiliate with news. I haven't checked them out, but it stayed. This got it above the 200, and it has been staying up there. Even when it fell, it rested right across the 200 until just now. All right, let's come in on that. Let's look at the 5-day mark. All right, she has been slowly falling. You can see the 200 is just dragging her down. She hit a low bubble here and ignored it. Ignored it. She just kept falling, which is very worrisome to me. And then halfway, even further than that, the very end of the day, the last hour of the day, all of this growth comes into the play. All of that from 007 up to just over a penny. Now, that is 30%. That's a huge jump. I know it looks really, really big, but let's put that into perspective. If we look at that, that's 2 cents, and that is 1 cent, and you can see the price. So that right there was a 30% gain after it fell. That's a little bitty movement. Now you can see she settled 50%. You've got a high and a low for the surge, where it started and where it ended. And I draw a line right in the middle. That's a perfect average. And algorithms on the charts run on averages. That is all they do. So that is a very significant point. And you can see it definitely came into play here. Everything landed right on top of it at the end of the day. Hit its high, came down, and landed on it. Now, if it stays above this, I consider it a strong stock. It kept more than 50% of its gains. If it does less, obviously it's not strong, and it could fall further down. Does this mean it can't fall? Nothing is guaranteed. We know that. But she's sitting strong right now. The technical shows she is falling on the 5-minute. Let's come in on the 1 minute, see what she looks like. So we had three solid minutes of falling. It crashed through the 50-day SMA, which is pretty strong, and it landed on the 50. So right now it's a coin toss. Really don't know. It got stopped at the bell. We don't know if it's going to bounce off that or if it's going to continue. It is at the 50% mark, so I would expect it to maybe go under just a little bit like a rubber ball and come back on the top and float. That's what I expect, because it is a strong stock in the metaverse world. And remember, metaverse is hot. This thing is going to lift just because the market is lifting. And at this price right now, 009, you've got yourself an excellent deal. When it hits 2 cents, you've got over 200% gains. Take 100 and whatever percent is there, leave 100%. That's right. Take half and what's extra, leave 50% of it there and just let it grow. you got all your money back. What can you lose? And if this continues to grow and grow and grow as the metaverse gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, because this company works with lots of companies and they come up with their own stuff. Whew. There's a lot of opportunity sitting on the table with this company, and I think it's going to continue to grow. And that right now is a perfect entry price, in my opinion. Don't buy it all, but buy enough so that you're comfortable. Let's look at the next one. Well, it only seems fair if I'm going to bring up TGHI, I should at least show it to you, especially if I'm invested in it, right? Fair is fair. And it's not a bad time to do it. Look, they're up 91% today. Metaverse heat. There's a lot of heat raising these companies in the metaverse right now. They finished today at just over 4 cents. They're on the QB, so all their financials are audited. And when you get audited financials, there's a lot of good information in there. You need to check them out. They have a verified profile, transfer agent, and independent directors. Got to have those if you're going to uplist. They probably use them and come from the pink to the QB. Yeah, you need them then. And you need them to go to the NASDAQ, which they can use. But first, they got to get their price up to $3 to uplist to the NASDAQ. So what does Touchpoint do? Well, they buy other companies as investments. They also buy them as incubators. They build them up, sometimes spin them out as their own companies, and that would give you and I a free dividend, free shares in a company that they spun out. And that's what they do pretty much. So what was their relative volume today? Did they have any excitement around them? Boom! Yeah, I'd say 25 times as much. Went from 2 million shares yesterday to 50 million shares today. 50 million shares. So there must be a reason, right? All right, what was her financials like this last year? Pretty much the same as the year before, but they're making money. They are making money. It isn't kicking. And with what I know about this company, I expect that it's going to start kicking here real soon. And I'll show you why. So they did. You got to grab those 3 zeros, put that behind there, 174,000 last year. Not a ton of money, but they're not zeros. What about their disclosures? We got anything current, any 8Ks, financials? We do. Just 2 weeks ago, we had a 10Q, the quarterly financials. The 10Qs and 10Ks are much more informative. Jump in there, you can read what deals they have. Yeah, I don't have the financials, but you can also just read stuff. This is the year we came on the market. This is the year we bought this company. This is the year we sold this company. And this is what we plan on doing this year. And this is what we're afraid of. This is what might hurt us. That's right. They tell you everything in those. Love them. But we're not going to jump into it. We're going to go look at the news. The news gives you a good snapshot of what's going on. Now, back here, this early news, they were doing apps, apps on your phone for very small niche places. A yoga company, I can't remember the others, but they were real small niche, just keeping their heads above water. Then they went and got this memorandum of understanding with Eternity to integrate their NFT products with Touchpoint platform. And their platform they were developing to launch their own proprietary NFT for celebrities and influencers. So here was their entrance into the metaverse. All NFTs are metaverse. So anybody who's doing NFTs is in the metaverse, just not making metaverse, but they are in the metaverse. But the big news, the reason I talked about it and the reason I got into it was this right here. They had signed a licensing agreement with World Championship Air Race. And 1 week later, they bought it. Now, this isn't ringing a bell for you, is it? Well, how about if I told you it was the Red Bull Air Race? The one that was founded in 2003. They've had 94 championship races around the world in 187 countries, 230 million viewers, 2.3 billion media impressions. And would you believe an actual audience of over 1 million people show up to these events? Wow. So this was huge. They bought the entire company and they opened it up for innovation. They want people to bring their new electric planes, their hovercrafts, whatever you've invented that you want to show off. Here's a venue for it. We'll give you a platform and we might even invest in you. And that's what they're using as their pool to fish in, to find new innovative products, which is what got me excited. Now let's back out on that news a little bit more and you can see that right there, Tulsa Labs, that's the company we were just looking at, SWRM, announces agreement to develop next generation urban transportation technologies. Just what I was telling you. I don't know what it is. It could be a hoverboard. It could be a scooter with no wheels. It just somehow hovers off the ground. It could be a backpack, a cage. But, you know, you can get in this thing and stay 18 inches off the ground. Just hovering along, no problem. Escape and miss all the bubblegum and doggy do. I think that would be a great product. And who knows what else they're going to come up with. And they just finished completion of their air race training camp. They have a whole venue set up for next year. They're ready to start racing again. And I think they have 7, 8, or 9 races set up for next year. So they're going to make a lot of money doing that. You know, Red Bull did, right? So what else has got this thing moving? I mean, this takes us up to the beginning of November. What other news is there? Well, I actually haven't found any more news except there's Metaverse Heat. And the chart itself had good technicals. So between the technicals on the chart and the heat in Metaverse, this stock rose. Call it a sympathy play, just call it being in the right area at the right time. But it jumped. Let's go take a look. TGHI 6-month 4-hour. Pretty much like a lot of them, we got our high bubble in this corner and that big fall from the February time period. Hit a low bubble here. Really didn't do a lot for it, not much. Had some big news here. Now, when did this news hit? 9/24. So this is when they were talking about their Eternity, getting into the NFTs and the metaverse, right? That got everybody's interest. It fell, lost a little strong portion of it, but you see here, it came across that 200. It broke that 200, and that became a new support for it. Rather than staying underneath it, it did manage to get up on top. And it stayed up there for a while. Hit some good highs up here a couple times. Broke it here, but came back above it, sitting right on top of it, and took off today. On what news? No news, right? We didn't see any news. There was no new filings, nothing like that. But she took off nonetheless. So at the beginning of the week, it was running flat underneath this 200 for this time period, the 5-day. Broke it, got above the 200 right there, and it's struggling. It's wrestling with it over this day. Gets above it, and there we go. This seems to be showing a lot of attitude that it doesn't want to be under the 200, which means it wants to grow. It's breaking the soil surface. It's getting up there. And you can see it took off today without any news, no catalyst of its own, just Metaverse Heat. They got things going. Not to mention, they did come out today on Twitter, I think it was, and just say, thanks to all of our pilots that did such a great job during the camp. We're looking forward to 2022. That did come out today. We didn't look at that at Twitter. But if that's all it took, thanking your pilots for finishing their camp training, this thing is primed to run. So here we go with the run that started off the day at just over 2 cents, and it's here at 4.5 cents. So you've got really 100% gain there. Truly do. And it finished the day at a high. It did drop. Right there, it's trying to fight after market. It was trying to push back up. And you can see, folks, now I get the feeling that tweet must have come out here, though the tweet wasn't a catalyst, but maybe just saying, we're going to have all these races. And there's a whole big bunch of information about it. You can read it in the news press. So it's not like the tweet gave us anything new. So whatever the case was, we had a ton of volume in the back half of today. The MACD is just off the charts. It's flying. You can see all that time it was virtually on fire here. And it looks like it was still on fire when the bell stopped it. Just stopped everything. The flood is just frozen. The fire is just frozen. Everything is frozen. It looks like it wants to continue in the morning by all means. I'm not talking about it running all day, but I think up to 10 o'clock in the morning, I think you could get a good bounce out of this, right? So if we look at this, let's come in just for the sake of looking at the 1 minute. So you had your high bubble, it dipped and bounced off of it. That's good to know. It's already recovered from its dip. I always expect a pullback. That's not a dip, that's a pullback. And then, you know, it's kind of like when you touch something hot, you get close and you pull your hand back. You just pull your hand back. You don't drop to the floor. You just pull your hand back. And that's all that's doing, just a pullback. Ooh, that's the high. And we're right there. I think this is going to continue. Yeah, we're going to see a crossover here, or we're going to see a pull down from the pullback. So I'm not surprised to see that. I would keep my eye on TGHI tomorrow for a bounce. But saying that, as long as Metaverse is hot, this company could continue growing. And any new NFT news, any Metaverse news, you know is going to push this thing hard. They're talking about this being $1 trillion business. Matter of fact, you see what's over there? Or right up there. Now you can see it. I just grabbed this. I grabbed this and threw this together just before we started this. This is a list that I just threw together real quick of stocks in the metaverse. Now, I wasn't looking for NFT companies particularly. I was looking for metaverse companies. And I was surprised to see a couple of them here. This one I've talked about a couple of times. This is One World Universe. One World Universe has got a lot going on in the metaverse world. And I talked about this, I don't know, maybe a month ago, 25 days ago, and it's gone up, well, it was 120% yesterday, and it's gone up another 92% today. So this has gone up over 200% since I first saw it, and I think it's going to continue growing because it's in the metaverse world, and that's what they're focused on. One World Universe is metaverse. Then you had TGHI, which we just looked at. That climbed today too. UAMM, another company that is getting into the metaverse. They had nothing really going on. If we look back, let's look at 10 days. So you can see nothing going on, a little ride, and it took off today. Late in the day. Again, late in the day. SWRM, late in the day bump after falling. These are all metaverse. Bones, B-O-N-Z, that one, it says had a 7% gain. We're just not seeing it on 30 minutes. We're not seeing that at all. I don't know where that one went. And then I've got others here. And, if you want to grab that list, you can. I can actually zoom in on that. There you go. Kind of neat how I did that, huh? And you can put that list on your list. All right, I'm going to take it down now. There we go. All right, so now you've got a list, and there's more out there, folks. One I didn't point out here, this is Adidas. Adidas entered the market today. Yeah, they are doing NFTs. But folks, don't be surprised to see every single company, Clorox, Bleach, Jolly Green Giant, Green Beans. I think every company is going to have an NFT because it's another world they can advertise in. Why would anybody not advertise? And they can sell these NFTs. I don't know who the heck wants a Jolly Green Giant, Green Bean NFT, but maybe with the guy going, ho, 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 Green Giant. It may be a big thing. They bring back an old commercial from the 50s. It could sell for $100,000 or $1 million. Psh, I'm just saying. All right, so you got lots of companies over here. There were a few that surprised me, and not all of them went up today, but a lot of these had no news and went up anyways. All right, so let's go look at one that is not metaverse. So we are going all the way from metaverse to cannabis. That's right. Now, most people don't think of Tinley Beverage Company as a cannabis company because there's no flower, buds, or joints, but it is a cannabis company. Their ticker is TNYBF, and they finished today just under 10 cents with a nice gain of 43%. And they are on the best tier on the OTC market. They're a QX. You can't get any more transparent. They tell you everything just as if they were on the NASDAQ. They are penny stock exempt as well. The OTC market's established the fact that they got enough money in the bank and they've been in business long enough that they don't have to be monitored like startup companies and such. So everything looks great in that department. What was their relative volume today? Really not that much more, 141,000 to 186,000. So there was some more, but nothing really exciting. Their share structure, not bad, 90 million. I mean, sure, we'd like it to be lower, but good God, let's not get it up to 500 million. So we're at 90 million. I know they're making some money right now. 238,000 they did at the end of last year, which is definitely a lot more than the year before. And that's because they made a deal in California and they've got their products, because this is a Canadian company and they make beverages. Let's go show you what they do here, folks. They make these THC beverages. No CBD, just THC. Though they do make them without the THC. So they have the virgin version of them and they have the tainted version of them. So these are like their beers, and these, excuse me, and these down here are like their hard liquors: cinnamon, coconut, and almond. These are a lot stronger THC and these are more milder THC. And they sell these in Canada, in Ontario. But the big news right now is, like I said, they're making all their money primarily in California. It's booming. They had to open up a whole nother shop down there just to keep up with the beverages. Let's see here. Where is that? Manufactured, founder. I know I saw it somewhere, but they had to open up a second facility just to keep up with it. It was called, there it is, Tinley's to upgrade mini bottling line to respond to market demand. Resolves Long Beach, California dispute. And they have other companies that they're working for. They're doing a craft style beverage here for BJ Restaurant. Marijuana, Mexican soft drink inspired beverage for a different company, MJ Beverages. So they just don't make their own stuff. They do a lot of people's work. But the catalyst right now, what I believe the catalyst is, came from their results from their 10Q. This is their financials and this is their overview of what they want to tell you about it. Now they had good earnings. They did almost $200,000 in this last quarter of this year compared to $34,000 last year. So they've come a long ways in the money. Now what's most important, as I said, they did open up a California facility and they opened up a secondary facility to help them bottle. But they've only been selling in Ontario, right here. The OCS gave them permission. They've got licenses there. But what they have now done is they have just applied to the Alberta Gaming Liquor Commission, and they are supposed to get a decision by December, the mid-December. We're talking 2 weeks away, and they expect to have their products on the market over there in January. They are also in British Columbia. They have just put that one in. It's the same thing, December, midway through December. And they expect that these products are going to be on the market between January and April of next year. So we are looking for the licenses to be granted, permission to be given by Health Canada to Tinley Beverages so that they can have these much larger provinces and start making some really good money with their excellent products. So let's go see what the chart looks like for Tinley today. Well, that is a sad chart. Yeah, I mean, that's backwards completely. We are one corner to the other corner. High isn't exactly over here, but wow, the low is right there, right there. Doesn't get any closer, folks. Today we hit that low. It fell and took off. And there really isn't any news, right? This is 3-day-old news about something that's going to happen in 2 weeks, which will give them permission to then line up to get their products on the market in the first quarter of next year. So it's not exactly imminent. But what do I say? If a stock that has value hits a low bubble, there should be a bounce off of it. So even though the news isn't kicking, I think the news is helping and it's going to get stronger. But you can see we had a good, strong bounce off of that. And on the 4-hour chart, it all looks real strong. Let's come down to that 10-day, 30-minute look. All right, she started falling even faster here. Took a big drop there. A lot of people are upset, maybe just, I don't know. We can't tell. The market is definitely hard right now. We don't know everything that's going on with the companies. But that low bubble was the end. Now, I want to see here. Let's back up all the way to that 4-hour look. All right. See, this low bubble is not the first low bubble. Wouldn't this be a low bubble right there? I mean, there's nothing else there. So that would have been a low, and that would have been a low, a low, a low. So it's not that it bounced off that low bubble. It bounced for another reason. Something happened that prevented it from dropping any further. That's the last of the low bubbles. So let's come in on that 5-minute, 5-day. Very thinly traded, right? We don't even have 200,000 shares, so we've just got a lot of single trades with a lot of time in between some of them. But look at that steady growth today. One buyer at a time was kicking this price up further and further and further until it hit a high and, of course, had its normal pullback. So everything looks par for the course here, outside of the fact that it has the least amount of volume that the whole week has had. The whole week has had more volume selling off than they did today buying back in. The chart looks good. The technicals are strong. MACD is rising very strong, and we are still in the fire up in the RSI. If we come down to the 1 minute, how does that look? Just for a gander. We've got just a wee bit of volume at the end of the day. I couldn't say that this is going to move tomorrow. There's just not enough technical activity here to say it's going to. And the news, well, there isn't any, is there? This is just a follow-up on their quarterly report that tells us something is supposed to happen from Health Canada in 2 weeks, and that will give them permission to start putting their products on the market. So there's nothing imminent. So if you're looking at this down the road, this may be a good entry price considering it's been falling for 6 months and has just decided to change direction for the first time in 6 months. You could take that as a sign of a reversal. But hey, you want to give it another day and see what it does, that may not be bad. All right, do I have any more? I think I got one more for you. Let me squeak it out. And the last stock we're looking at is not on the OTC market. It is a penny stock, but it is sold on the NASDAQ market. Remember, any stock under $5 is literally a penny stock. And this is ARDX at $1.70 with 38% gains today. ARDX Inc. is a pharmaceutical company with lots of drugs in the pipeline. But being under $5, she qualifies as a penny stock. She gets down below $1, she's in trouble on the NASDAQ. Stay there for 30 days and she gets tossed down to the OTC market again. So she is rising right now. What was her volume like today? Anything to brag about? I would say so. From about 4.5 million to 157 million, you're talking 30 times more volume today. Something's going on. What is her share structure like? Well, they don't give us that information here, though I did go looking. Looks to be about just over 90 million shares is in the float. How about her financials? She got any money coming in? Oh yeah, she had $7.5 million come in last year, which was 50% more than the year before, and that was 50% more than the year before it. But goodness, look at that, 2017, $42 million, and then they fell down to $2 million. Wow, I don't know what the story is there, but I'm sure it's interesting. Okay, what about disclosures? We got any new news? We do. We got an 8K, which is material change, something that's relative to the company. That came out 3 days ago. Now, these are real short, real easy to read. You get past all this stuff, and then all these rules, all you got is that. And that's it. There's no more for me to go. I can't go any further. So one sentence is all this is about. And it says, on November 30th, the company announced plans to launch Ibisrela, the company's approved treatment for irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, IBS-C. That makes sense. In adults. And this is going to be done in the second quarter of 2022. Now, I did find news on this. There was also news over there, but this is big news. IBS, there is no drug for it. I've actually been to the doctor for irritable bowel syndrome. It's cramping and painful, and there's nothing they can do. They say work on your diet, quit eating seeds, quit eating gluten, quit eating bacon. They just want me to quit eating. I quit eating, I'm going to blow away. So you come back here to look at the news. This is all just for this month, but here's all the information for the irritable bowel syndrome. The Company starts to take off from the irritable bowel syndrome, 17% up, another 36% up, and everybody knows why it's rising. It's because of this new drug. When you have a cure or at least a fix for something nobody else has, dude, you're gonna get a lot of revenues. So that's what this is all about. So let's go see what the chart looks like for ARDX, a NASDAQ penny stock. Holy cow. See, that's what you get with pharmaceutical companies. In between trials, while you're waiting for things to be passed, while they're searching and researching, trying to find a miracle drug, there is nothing happening and there's no excitement. There's no catalyst, no reason for people to buy shares. And that's what it looks like. And chances are, this was a failed drug test. You get the worst drops when after you've been waiting 2 years for a drug to pass and they say no. Bink, there goes all your hard efforts out the window. And there was no excitement. I mean, it has been flat until they get a new drug that has been approved. And that's what we're looking at right there. So we've had 1, 2, 3. What did I tell you? 3 days ago that news came out. And that is all it is running on. And it is running strong. Now it took a dip here. Why? Come on. All those people got stuck and have been waiting for a bounce to get out of this thing. They have no more hope left. They have no more faith. They just want to get their money and get out. And that's what they did. So you had a day of profit takers. It was bound to happen. And now that they're out of the way, it's growing. And we don't know how big this can grow. Seriously, folks, when you're the only guy on the block who's got a drug, you got everybody knocking on your door and you ain't getting no sleep. This could be really big. I don't know a lot about drugs, but I know about IBS and I know about not having a cure for it or at least having something to help. So this is quite exciting. Heck, it's moving right now as we're looking at it. Did you just see that? That's right. It just bumped right now, went further up. So there's your testimony. This has been growing all day and it just did it again. It just went another penny and it's growing after market right now. And so you know, yes, you can buy this after market. Most brokers will allow you to buy a NASDAQ stock after market. There's no difference. Just be sure to put in GTC, good till canceled, or extended hours, EXT. That will normally get you your order. So there you go, folks. We are done. You know, I only had one stock picked. I had planned on doing something else, and then we brought up TGHI, and it's like, you know, I didn't know where we were going, but that's where we ended up. And that's what happens when you do DD and research. You don't always know where you're going to end up, what you're going to be looking at, and better yet, what you're going to find. You know, folks, doing research doesn't have to be boring. You can have a lot of fun with it. You can find a lot of deals, make some great watch lists. But man, if you're not putting those watch lists in front of you while you're trading, if you're not monitoring them often, you're missing out. And writing them on paper and then typing them in and looking isn't the best way to do it, folks. You seen that list I magnified for you? Yeah, make yourself a list so you can just look. Punch it up and you get all of them. You can see who's at the top, who's moving a lot of volume. Whoa, he's moving a lot of volume. There you go. Run to it. All right, folks. Hope I taught you something new today. Hope you found a stock that interests you. Hope you learned something about chart reading. Any little bit, piece by piece, we learn more. And the more you know, the more you're going to grow. See you, folks.